welcome to this edition of Donna's Cassolei. I'm your host, Donna Kelly. As usual, I have a fabulous feast planned for my guests that are here with me today. We have an eggplant dip. We have fresh pasta that I made. I got a new pasta maker my boyfriend bought for me, and I made pasta this afternoon. That was a very exciting adventure. With basa, which is farm-raised catfish from Vietnam. Everybody says catfish, but this is farm-raised, and it's beautiful, white, flaky catfish. It's lovely. And we'll do that with a lemon caper light cream sauce. We have a spinach salad with a balsamic ginger dressing that goes with it. It'll be spinach and papaya and cherry tomatoes and Maui onions.
That sounds great, Donna. I can't wait.
Let's get started. To do our eggplant dip, you get a nice big eggplant and you roast it in the oven at 350 for about an hour. And I'll show you how to clean that in just a minute. I want to get it started here. This eggplant dip needs to be made a day ahead, so it has a chance for the flavors to dance, and which I've done. I've made a batch of it, but I want to show you how I made it. We roast the eggplant, one nice eggplant, spear it with a fork, and you roast it in an oven at 350 for about an hour. It has sauteed garlic and onion, cumin, Tabasco, parsley, roasted sesame seeds, which anytime you roast a nut or a seed, it helps bring out the flavor of it. And a plain sesame seed tastes kind of plain or bland, and once you roast it and bring it some heat to it, it gives it a nice nutty flavor. It has tomato and parsley, and we're going to saute the garlic and onion right now in a little bit of olive oil.
So when you roast the eggplant in the oven, you don't put olive oil with it at all? It's just a dry roast?
Just a dry roast to it.
Yeah.
And we're going to saute a couple cloves of garlic, about half of an onion. I'm using a sweet kula onion. We're going to saute a couple cloves of garlic and about half of an onion in some olive oil, just until it begins to sweat and you can smell the flavors. In a food processor, we're going to add a chopped tomato, you don't have to seed this one, just a chopped tomato. And the eggplant that we have here, like I said, has been roasted for an hour. We cut off the end, and we're going to skin it and seed it. You don't it's not necessary that you get all of the seeds out, just most of them, but the skin should peel right off nicely. You need to let it cool because it's kind of hot to handle when it comes out of the oven. You pierce the eggplant with a fork before you roast it. And it's important to do this the day before and let the dip sit in the fridge for overnight so that the flavors melt. The seeds come right out nicely. Like I said, it's not critical that you get all the seeds out, just most of them, because this is kind of a smooth dip. We'll chop it up a little bit and put it in our food processor.
It's almost like a baba ganoush almost.
Almost. Has lemon, fresh lemon juice and cumin, black pepper. Has such a nice smell to it, roasted eggplant. I love eggplant.
Me too.
And you see, it just comes right off the skin like this. Into the back of your knife. We're going to add a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice to this. A couple of tablespoons.
Does smell good, Donna.
Yep.
Yeah, garlic
Sauteed
cooking.
onions and garlic,
Yeah.
yep. You don't want to brown them, you just want to sweat them a little bit. Add a little salt. About half a teaspoon of ground cumin seed. A couple of splashes of Tabasco. What am I forgetting? Put the sauteed onion and garlic in there.
If you didn't have a food processor, what do you suggest people do to just beat by hand or something?
Get a food processor. It really makes it easy because you want to puree it. And this is one of those things you kind of need a food processor for. We're just going to blend this so it has a nice smooth consistency. I know what I forgot, pepper. While I was getting a bowl, my friend Christy showed up. She's almost getting to be a regular on my show here.
Made it.
Smells good, I'm starving. I transferred the pureed eggplant and tomatoes and sauteed garlic and onion, lemon juice, cumin, and Tabasco to a bowl. We're going to add about a 1/4 cup of roasted sesame seeds to this and a couple of tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley. Like I said, you make this the day before, which helps you know how I feel about spending time with my guests instead of cooking the whole time. And you mix it like this, and then you put it in the refrigerator overnight. And when your guests come the next day, you serve it with some crusty French bread, and you have a beautiful appetizer. I'm going to hand it over so they... Oh, actually, I want to try a bite. Let me see how this is. You know, you got to make sure it's good before you pass it to your guests. All right, you guys can have
Tastes good. Thank you. This looks great.
I'm ready.
Ooh,
It's their day of riding. I'm ready.
thank you.
Well, ladies first, please.
Okay.
Now that
How
you-
is
There we
it?
go.
Digging in right now.
Want a chance to take a bite?
That's wonderful.
Looks good. Smells good.
The bread, when I bought it the other day at the store, it was still warm. They had just pulled it out of the oven. And they put it in the package and I brought it home. I love it when I get to the store and it's like that. Tastes good?
Sounds like my
That's
husband's
great.
home.
Christy's husband's on vacation. She's starving. He's the cook of the house. All right, next thing we're going to do is make the salad dressing real quick, and then we'll go right into the fish and the pasta. It's a ginger balsamic dressing in a Cuisinart. Again, this is one of those things you just kind of need a Cuisinart for. We're going to add about a 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. Should have measured this out first. When you do dressings, it's about 3 to 1 or 2 to 1 of vinegar to oil. You want to use more vinegar than oil. I have about a 1/4 cup of chopped shallots. I'm not going to put all this ginger in. How about 2 tablespoons of ginger, fresh grated ginger. Fresh herbs, we have basil and thyme. Of course, we're going to add black pepper. This is for the spinach, papaya, and beautiful vine-ripened cherry tomatoes and Maui onion salad that I had made. A secret to any good salad dressing and a lot of things, a lot of sauces and stuff, is a pinch or two of sugar. It just kind of helps round out the flavor of things. Oh, and we gotta add some canola oil. So if you add about a half a cup of balsamic vinegar, you're gonna add about a third of a cup of oil. And we're just gonna turn this on.
Was that olive oil, Donna, or?
Canola oil.
Oh, okay.
Take a little taste test here. Wow, it's that easy, see? I'm gonna pour it in a little container and we'll sit it on the side so the flavors have a chance to get together. Then we'll get started on the fish. I love balsamic vinegar. It's got such a beautiful flavor to it. Fresh herbs and
It's my favorite.
is it? You like it? Yeah, I love it too. It's got such a sweet, rich, but yet tangy flavor to it. Let me set that over there next to that pretty salad. Our fish for today is basa, and it's a farm-raised catfish from Vietnam. It's lovely. I've put a Parmesan crust on it, and it helps if you do it a little bit in advance. And you just cut the catfish fillets into chunks that you can work with. And I just put a little bit of garlic salt on them. And then I put this is a mixture of Parmesan and Romano cheeses. Shake off the excess and just a sprinkling of flour, actually. Shake off the excess flour. I only put just a little bit of white pepper in the flour and a little bit of salt on the fish. We're going to make a nice light white cream sauce for our pasta this evening. And I'm just going to saute some leeks and a little bit of butter. Actually, it's going to be a lemon caper light white sauce. And I'm just going to saute some leeks. A little bit of butter and olive oil. Leeks are somewhere like a green onion, but they have a little bit more onion flavor. But they're sweet, nice and mellow. Okay, I'm gonna scald, which means not bring all the way up to a boil, but almost to a boil, about 1.5 cups of milk.
Does it matter what kind of milk? Is it whole milk or skim milk?
If you're counting calories, you could use a lighter milk. You just need a little bit more butter and flour roux to thicken it up. I personally like whole milk, so it's the kind of girl I am. I've made